Okay, let's dive into a lateral gait cycle that we call the lateral run. Okay, we already talked about the shuffle. You can see that on a previous video. But the lateral run, often confused with a term called a crossover. Okay, so a crossover, really the reason the crossover name even came about is because coaches would teach the athlete to plant the front leg and kind of pull and then cross over with the backside leg. If we understand biomechanics, if we understand like physical movement, like physics and how we actually move, we would understand very, very quickly that that's really not possible to be able to move quickly on a basketball court or on a field and defend well by having one leg solid and the other leg trying to cross over. That's not what we want. The reason I call it a lateral run is because we actually run, we use a gait cycle of a running pattern with our lower body. So here's what we really look at. If I'm doing a defensive shuffle, okay, I want to push with my back leg and I want to move my body in that direction. When I do a lateral run, I do the same thing with the backside leg. I push my body in that direction. Where it changes is if I'm shuffling, I kind of reach with my heel and I pull, and my lateral gait cycle never exchanges where my leg positions are. In other words, this leg will never get in front of this leg. This leg will never come behind this leg, not in a shuffle, okay? They stay on the same side. But a lateral run, as I push and I open, now what I'm going to do, rather than reaching with my heel, I'm going to drive down and back, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear space for my backside leg by getting this knee out of the way, and that allows me to push down and back, and then the backside leg comes through. But if you notice, you can see my logo right here, this circular logo. I never turn it all the way because I'm still guarding, defending, checking, or marking the person in front of me. So I want to make sure I push and I turn, and then I step across like I'm running, but I'm still in a guarding position. All right, so if I were to do this a little quicker, it looks like this. I'm here, and I push, and I step across. Notice this leg goes down and back to be able to allow me to gain more distance more quickly. So the shuffle is a technique that I would use if the opponent or the ball that I'm guarding isn't going very fast. Okay, not as fast as it could. Now that allows me to stay squared up because I can change directions quicker. But if that ball or opponent starts to get in front of my lead shoulder, intuitively, I start to want to run because I'm faster. So I'll go from this gait cycle in a shuffle to this in a lateral run, and I'll gain more distance because I'm actually now in an acceleration, a running acceleration model. So I push down and back. Now I can really accelerate and gain distance much quicker. So the lateral run is not a crossover. We do not want to teach a crossover. If a crossover should happen to happen in like just really slow movement, that's fine. But it's typically not going to because the biomechanics of the body is we always push, we always open, and then we can accelerate whether it's a shuffle or a lateral run. So there you go. There's your lateral run. And we're going to come back and we're going to start talking about a technique that allows us to be able to go backwards.